Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we turn financial filings into something you might actually want to watch. Today, we're diving into Joby Aviation's latest 10K report, their yearly checkup with the SEC. Let's see if this flying car company is soaring or just sputtering. Joby Aviation is working on building an all-electric aircraft, an eVTOL, that takes off and lands like a helicopter but flies more like a plane. They want to create an air taxi service in cities around the globe. Think Uber but with less traffic. The idea is to carry a pilot and 4 passengers as far as 100 miles at speeds reaching 200 mph. They aim to make these ride-sharing services faster and more convenient than driving and eventually more affordable for everyday use. Instead of selling the aircraft, Joby plans to manufacture, own, and operate their aircraft, selling rides to individuals as well as selling flight services to the U.S. Air Force and other government agencies. They started initial service operations with the Department of Defense in September of 2023 and are targeting initial passenger operations in 2025 or 2026. To achieve their goal of creating the world's first flying taxi service, Joby needs to get their aircraft certified by the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. They are working with regulators around the world, including those in the UK, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and the United Arab Emirates. In fact, in November of 2024, they showed off their aircraft in Japan. And in December of 2024, they completed a series of flight tests in Korea as part of the KUM Grand Challenge. As of the start of 2025, Joby has roughly 2,000 employees and no union representation. So, is there a market for flying taxis? Morgan Stanley thinks so, estimating a total addressable market of $1 trillion by 2040. Now, let's talk about certification. Before Joby can start ferrying passengers, their aircraft needs to pass through the FAA's rigorous type certification process. In July 2022, Joby signed an updated G1 certification basis with the FAA, which lays out the specific requirements that need to be met by the aircraft. Joby thinks of the type certification process in 5 stages, with stages 1 to 3 considered the definition phase, and stages 4 and 5 considered the implementation phase. Joby is developing a comprehensive, vertically integrated enterprise safety management system, covering aircraft, manufacturing, operations, maintenance, and flight training. In 2024, they were accepted into the FAA Voluntary SMS for air operations. Joby has some pretty impressive partnerships in place. Toyota has invested nearly $400 million, making them Joby's largest outside investor. Toyota and Joby engineers are working together to assist Joby with manufacturing process development, factory planning and layout, and design for manufacturability. In 2023, Joby signed a long-term supply agreement with Toyota to supply key powertrain and actuation components for their aircraft. In 2021, Joby acquired Uber's Elevate business, which includes software tools focused on planning and operations. This allows Joby to make data-driven decisions leading up to commercial launch, as well as accelerating operational readiness. Plus, their collaboration agreement with Uber provides for the integration of Joby's aerial ride-sharing service into the Uber app across global markets. Delta invested $60 million in Joby, and has warrants which, if exercised, could expand their total investment to $200 million. This relationship with Delta will provide opportunities to leverage Delta's expertise in building out infrastructure at key airports, as well as providing a seamless passenger experience. In June 2023, SK Telecom, a South Korean telecommunications company, invested $100 million in Joby. Since 2020, Joby has had a relationship with the U.S. Air Force and delivered the first eVTOL aircraft at Edwards Air Force Base in 2023 as part of their contract with the Department of Defense. In January 2025, Joby delivered their second aircraft under this contract. They also flew a hydrogen-electric demonstrator for over 500 miles thanks to support from the Agility Prime program. Keep in mind, contracts with the U.S. government are subject to a variety of requirements and risks, including government reviews, audits, investigations, False Claims Act cases, and suspension. Alright, let's look at the financials. Joby has incurred significant losses since its inception. They reported a net loss of $608 million for 2024, $513 million for 2023, and $258 million for 2022. As of the end of 2024, Joby had an accumulated deficit of $1.85 billion. However, Joby had about $200 million in cash, cash equivalents, and restricted cash at the end of 2024 and $733 million in short-term investments. Joby primarily uses cash for research and development, personnel costs, and support services. They will also be spending it on building manufacturing facilities, ramping up production, and supporting production certification. To continue operations, Joby may need to raise capital through public or private financing or other arrangements, like selling shares of stock or debt. Of course, there are a number of risk factors that might impact Joby's chances of success. One of the biggest challenges is the regulatory landscape. Joby needs to obtain relevant regulatory approvals for the commercialization of its aircraft and the operation of its mobility service, both in the United States and in foreign markets. Any delays in these approvals could have a material adverse impact on their business. And in order to make a real dent in the congestion of major cities, air traffic capacity needs to increase. There is a risk that the aircraft fails to achieve performance expectations. The noise, payload, or maximum range of the aircraft may be less than what the company currently estimates. The $500 million investment from Toyota is subject to closing conditions, including conditions beyond Joby's control, and no assurance can be given that closing will take place on the timeline currently anticipated, or at all. Finally, if Joby is deemed to be an investment company, their operations could be greatly harmed. Cybersecurity is also a big risk. The audit committee of the board of directors is responsible for risk assessment and risk management, including cybersecurity risks. The committee meets annually with the head of information technology, who provides a report on the company's current risk assessment as well as mitigation efforts. In the last 3 fiscal years, Joby's business strategy, results of operations, and financial condition haven't been materially affected by risks from cybersecurity threats. On a positive note, Joby has a commitment to having a positive impact, focusing on environmental stewardship, building a sustainable workforce, and strong governance practices. So, what's the verdict on Joby's outlook? Joby Aviation is in a very risky stage of development. The company is pre-revenue, meaning that it has a very hard time to create reliable financial forecasts to predict future profitability. There are also substantial regulatory risks in the emerging eVTOL market, as Joby still needs to get its eVTOL certified. On the bright side, the technology appears promising. Joby has secured strategic partnerships with Uber, Delta, Toyota, etc. Despite the challenges, Joby appears well positioned to potentially become a market leader. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and comment.